First up, a Post exclusive. President Trump's desire to get rid of red tape is no secret, and the administration says it's going to save big bucks on cutting more of it from Obama-era regulations. It says it could save American businesses as much as $5 trillion with a T dollars over the next fiscal year. The Office of Management and Budget, a bunch of number crunchers who work at the White House, says that things like President Obama's emissions directives or a requirement for all executive branch agencies to buy paper straws are costing Americans a lot of cash. That Obama emissions finding aimed at slowing climate change found that several categories of emissions from things like gas-guzzling cars and trucks were harmful to public health, but those rules also spiked energy costs. Cutting them is likely to save trillions alone. The OMB says that there are 245 deregulatory initiatives either already enacted or planned by the end of the month. Do you know what a furry is? It's a person who enjoys dressing up as an animal, and the subculture is the latest twist in the tragic tale of the Minnesota school shooting. Not long before the tragedy at Annunciation Catholic Church, the shooter had dumped his girlfriend, 22-year-old Abigail Bodick, who the Daily Mail referred to as a furry. Bodick was pictured on social media wearing cat ears and whiskers at an anime convention earlier this year. And in a series of sick documents linked to shooter Robin Westman, he called his ex the, quote, rot of my suffering, and said that he was fascinated by furries. Now, he goes on to trash Bodick and wrote that he pointed his gun at the back of her head to, quote, see if I would feel anything, adding that the whole reason he purchased the firearm was to kill children. The horrendous details emerged as investigators continue to dig into why Westman opened fire last week during a back-to-school mass, firing 116 rifle rounds that killed 2 children and injured 19 others before turning the gun on himself. Now, the incident seems to have prompted President Trump's Justice Department to discuss whether to ban transgender Americans from buying firearms. Sources tell the Post that some members of the DOJ think that such a move can be approved as a follow-up to President Trump's executive order banning transgender people from serving in the military. Now to a new study about marriage and mental health. Opposites, they don't always attract, and this study found that people with psychiatric disorders like depression or anxiety, and who among us doesn't have that? I know I do, but that these people were more likely to pair up with someone suffering from the same mental health struggles. Researchers say that the pattern was found, quote, across countries, across cultures, and of course, generations. Previous studies have shown that one partner suffering from mental health issues had an impact on the other's mental health. But this is the first time that the data suggests such issues play a role in sparking relationships. It's a like attracts like kind of thing. The study also found that these couples who suffer from the same or similar disorders have children who are twice as likely to develop those issues compared to children with just one parent with such a disorder. For more on this story and everything else you could possibly want to know, check out the New York Post in print or online. And don't forget, like and subscribe to the New York Post cast wherever you get your podcasts, and on YouTube. You'll be glad you did.